In this video, we're going to be looking at SFTP. It stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol. It is how we take files from our local machines to the server and from our server to our local machines. We're going to look at some of the options that we have in dealing with it, some of the commands, which is the L, the get, and the put. I'm logged into the CyberMill server, and I am in my playground directory, so we can take a look at that real quick with pwd. You can see I'm in the playground directory, and if we go into that directory, I have a folder here called SFTP. And so I just did have to make it simple. Inside of SFTP, I have one little file here called user bin text, which is just a user bin directory, so not a really big deal thing there. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be taking that and moving it over to my desktop. On my desktop, I have a folder, which is right here called SFTP. Right now, there's nothing in it, but we're going to be putting that file into our folder using the SFTP protocol, or I should say the Secure File Transfer Protocol. So the first thing I need to do is actually log out of my CyberMill, because you can't do this logged in under SSH. So I go SFTP, and then it's the same login that I would normally do. Okay, and then the password is the same password that I use for SSH. It's really basically the same thing. But you notice that when you get there, you now have SFTP here instead of bash. And if I do ls, then I can see that these are all the files in my regular directory. I'm not in my playground directory. You can see that it didn't put me in the playground, put me right in my home directory again. I don't want that, but I can actually use a cd command, and I can just do playground and then SFTP. And now when I do ls, you can see that I have that file right there because I'm in that folder. Okay, so we're just going to do that. Now, a couple things just to note. If I do ll, which is just the alias for ls, it doesn't understand what it is. So some of these aliases don't work. Actually, clear is not going to work either. But that's okay for our purposes. Now, what I want to do is I want to transfer that to my folder on my desktop. Now, how do I get to my desktop? Well, if I go LLS, so I add an extra L there, that means local. So the L stands for local ls, and I hit that, and you can see that it went to basically the root of my local system. So I'm going to have to go LCD for change directory, so local change directory, and I'm going to go into my desktop, and then I'm going to go to SFTP folder, just like that. Now if I go LLS, you can see that I'm inside this desktop SFTP folder, and right now there's nothing in there. There's no files. So that's where I'm going to go. So I'm going to move to the top of it so we can see it, and I'm going to start with the get command. And remember, I'm already in that folder, and the file that I'm looking for is userbin.txt. And because I'm already in the correct directory on my local side, that's all I need to write. Just get userbin.txt, hit enter, and you can see it's fetching that, okay, that particular file right there. And so if I do LLS, which means I'm looking at my local system now, and I hit it, you can see there's the file right there. And you can also see it is right here. Okay, so that worked out really well. Now what I'm going to do is rm userbin.txt, and it removed it. So now if I go ls, I don't have it there. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to put that file there. So if I go put, and I go userbin.txt, okay, that's going to now take it from my desktop and put it back on my server. And there it is right there. And then if we ls, there's our file right there. Okay, to summarize, we took a look at the SFTP, again stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol, and we looked at the L, and remember the L is used for local computers. So if I do LLS, then that's actually looking at the directory listing on my local computer, not on the server. So that was a way. We could also do LCD, and we could change directories. So that was kind of nice. And then we looked at get, and get basically puts the files on the server. So as long as you set your path to where you want the file to go on your local side, you can just get the file wherever it happens to be located. In this case, we went into that specific directory and just called the file, but we didn't have to. We could have gone through the directory structure and gotten it just as well. And then put, well, put basically is the opposite. And so you can basically put something from, the local machine onto the server. Again, I had this already in the folder on my local machine, so I just had to grab the file. But I could have gone through the directory path just as well. All right, so that's pretty much how I use SFTP. And when it comes to transferring files from the computer, local computer to the server, and the server back to local computer, SFTP is the command that we pretty much use today.